In 2014, Batista made his long-awaited return, man. He made his return to the WWE, but that return was quickly ruined by the crowd. And I say this to say that I think the same might happen to The Rock. But before I start to talk about The Rock, let's talk about what happened with Batista so we can understand how the same thing could happen to The Rock. So Batista made his return in 2014. He was away from WWE since 2010. He had an I Quit match with John Cena, he lost, and he basically left the WWE due to like creative issues. The WWE wasn't the same as how he once loved it to be. So he left and he went to start doing Hollywood stuff, man. He went to do Hollywood things and he found some success in Hollywood. But eventually he decided he wanted to come back to the WWE, and that was in 2014. Batista's return was announced before he appeared, so it was expected. The crowd was expecting it, and the day he made his return was January 20th, 2014. In the ring, it was Randy Orton, it was Triple H, and it was Stephanie McMahon. Eventually, Batista music hit, man. Batista music hit. He came out there, he did his entrance, the crowd was going crazy, man. It just was amazing to see. Then he eventually started to talk on a mic, and his thing that he said on a mic was that the reason he is back is for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which Randy Orton had at the time. He said that he is back for that title, and he's back to win the Royal Rumble and headline WrestleMania. That was Batista's thing. So the crowd was cheering Batista when he made his return, but as time went on, that quickly changed because they didn't want Batista in that spot. The person that they wanted in that spot was Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was the person that the crowd wanted in that spot. They wanted Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble. They wanted Daniel Bryan to win the championship at WrestleMania in the main event. That's what they wanted, but Batista was coming in and basically trying to take that spot from Daniel Bryan. And the crowd was not going to let that happen. The crowd was going to voice their opinion every time they seen Batista. And it didn't take a long time for that to happen. Batista returned January 20th, and the Royal Rumble was the 26th. At the Royal Rumble, they booed Batista. They booed Batista. Batista won. He threw out Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble. And some people cheered, but most of the people was booing Batista. And it didn't just stop there. Every time he basically was on TV, they was booing him. Batista had a match at Elimination Chamber with Alberto Del Rio. And even then, they was booing Batista. The crowd was chanting Batista instead of Batista. They was chanting for Alberto Del Rio. They even was chanting wrestlers' name that were not in the match. They was chanting RVD. They was chanting for Punk. They was just chanting everything that wasn't Batista. They didn't want to see Batista, and it simply was because he was taking Daniel Bryan's spot. They wanted Daniel Bryan in that spot, but it was Batista instead. So of course the crowd is not going to cheer for that. Of course the crowd is going to basically reject Batista. With the crowd rejecting Batista so much, it kind of ruined the plans that WWE had. Because WWE plan, it seemed like the plan was for them to do Randy Orton, who was a heel at the time, versus Batista, who came in as a babyface. They was planning on doing that at WrestleMania 30. That seemed like the plan, but the crowd didn't want that. The crowd rejected that because they wanted Daniel Bryan in that spot. And it got to a point where the crowd was going so crazy for Daniel Bryan. They was rejecting Batista to a point where it basically forced WWE to add Daniel Bryan to that match. They added Daniel Bryan to the match. It was supposed to be Batista versus Randy Orton, but Daniel Bryan got added and it made it a triple threat match where Daniel Bryan finally won. Daniel Bryan finally won the championship again after being cheated out of the title, after being looked down on, after being basically mistreated, man. He finally won the championship again, and the crowd loved it. And I really think that the crowd would have loved Batista versus Randy Orton if it was just done at a different time. It just was done at the wrong time. You had Batista come in and try to take Daniel Bryan's spot when it wasn't his time. It wasn't Batista's time to do that. They could have did that Randy Orton versus Batista match probably a year later, and the crowd would have loved it. But it just happened at the wrong time, and that's where I think the Rock and Roman situation is headed. Roman Reigns versus The Rock is a match that so many people wanted to see for years, but now it's happening at the wrong time. Right now, it's Cody time. People want to see Cody versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship, and for Cody Rhodes to finish the story that he been building up, that WWE been building up. They want to see him finish his story, but The Rock just came out of nowhere and just basically took his spot. He took his spot and inserted himself into the main event of WrestleMania to face Roman Reigns for the title, and the crowd is rejecting that. The video of The Rock and Roman stare down and the stuff that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, that video got over 500,000 dislikes on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Cody Rhodes is trending. We want Cody is trending. Over 200,000 people using that hashtag. They want Cody Rhodes, and they don't want The Rock, and they're showing that. Even at a live show where they showed The Rock and Roman Reigns segment, people booed that. It was a live show, and they showed the segment between Roman Reigns and The Rock at SmackDown, and people that were in the crowd, they were booing it. That right there is starting to show that they don't want that match yet. Y'all can do that match a different time. It really make no sense how they trying to just force that match in 2 months. The Rock made his return in February, and he trying to challenge Roman for April. How does that make sense? If anything, y'all could do that match next year at WrestleMania 41. If anything, you could have The Rock just be the host of WrestleMania 40 and then have him have a year-long build with Roman Reigns, and then they could have that match at WrestleMania 41. But right now, I think if it was to happen, the crowd is going to reject it, and I don't think that's what WWE want, because that is still a big-time match that people want to see, but they just don't want to see that right now. But if WWE going to be stubborn and not do what is right for the crowd, then the people was going to reject that match, and they're going to ruin the Rock return and basically ruin that Roman Reigns versus Rock dream match. They're going to be booing The Rock. That sounds so crazy too, because it's The Rock. But I think people are going to boo The Rock because that's not the match they want at the moment, man. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Am I tripping or nah, man? That is what I think. That's how I think that The Rock return possibly could get ruined. I really think it could go down the same way Batista return went down in 2014, man. So that's what I think. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all leave a comment. While you scrolling down to the comments, make sure you check out the description as well to check out my Discord, my Instagram, and my TikTok. All that is in the description. And with all that being said, this right here is the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Take it easy, man. Peace.